All right, hey guys, my name's Evan. I'm here from Branch Metrics to do a little code lab about integrating Branch using Fabric. How many of you guys are familiar with Fabric? Can everyone raise their hands? All right, everyone but one? Not familiar with Fabric? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so Fabric is sort of Twitter's repository of SDKs, which we're proud to be a part of. We're a small startup. Well, when Branch hired me about 13 or 14 months ago, it was about 15 or 20 people, and now we're about 80 to 90 people over the past year. So we've grown a lot. I'll tell you guys through the details of it. Well, first me. So hi, I'm Evan. I've been coding since I was a kid. Did you guys ever play Counter-Strike or Half-Life when you were younger? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I ran, as a teenager, I ran cshack.com. I released like aimbots and wall hacks and stuff back in the good old days of like injecting assembly into other processes. So that was what got me into programming, was wanting to hack online games. I'm sure everyone's been dragged into programming through some interesting route. I've been coding Android stuff since 2010, early 2010, and now I work at Branch as sort of Android evangelist and developer. I basically go to fun Android tech events and talk to people about stuff when I'm not at the office, fixing bugs and banging my head against the desk, as I'm sure as developers you guys experience. Yeah, so Branch, we're based out in Palo Alto. We've been in business for over 2 years. We've raised over $53 million, and as I said, we have over 85 employees at this point. Our SDK is in over 15,000 apps, which is a much bigger number than last year, and we've deep linked over 1.5 billion people. Actually, on average, about 70% of North America clicks a Branch link every day. So you guys are probably clicking Branch links without realizing that you're interacting with our platform. And that's mostly because, as far as I know, we're the only deep linking solution that offers custom branding with your links, meaning that your deep links don't have to use our domain. So like, I don't know the current state of Bitly, but for example, a Bitly link would be like bit.ly, but with your Branch links, they can be any domain that you want. So Branch we're a deep linking company. We give you branded short deep links that will represent the same content both on web and in app. We take users from your website to your application and give you attribution data about that funnel. That's one of the things we do. So if you guys have a website, Branch is a great idea because you can actually take people from specific pages on your website to specific pages on your application. And what's really cool about that is this process of connecting the user from your website to your application with normal deep linking would require the user to already have the application installed. Otherwise, the deep link has nothing to launch on the person's phone and nothing happens. What's cool about Branch is that process of going from a link to an application works regardless of whether or not the user has the application installed. And that's sort of what makes us so magical. So Pinterest uses Branch, for example. I'm looking at a pin. I want one of you guys to see it. I click share and I text you a link. You don't have Pinterest installed. You tap the link. It takes you to the Google Play Store, has you install Pinterest, and then Pinterest opens up on your phone and shows you that content that I was looking at when I first generated the link and sent it to you. So I've deep linked you to a specific piece of content in an application that you did not have installed when you first clicked the link. And that's sort of what makes our deep links more about growth than just deep linking. And this is that example of showing you the link is clicked. If no application is installed, you'll go to the App Store, that's on iOS, or the Google Play Store on Android. If the app is installed, you go to the app content. And we fix the problem when the application isn't installed. Another cool problem that we solve is we want your Branch links to work literally everywhere. We want your Branch links to work for iOS users. We want them to work for Android users. We also want them to work for desktop users. So then how do you deep link someone from a computer to their phone? So we actually use Twilio for a text me the app feature. So if someone clicks one of your Branch links on their Android device, it'll take them to the Google Play Store. But if someone clicks one of your Branch links on their desktop, it will take them by default to a text me the app page where the user can then enter their phone number in and they're texted a download link. And that download link still carries through all the original key value pairs from the original deep link that they clicked. So you can still deep link someone from desktop to their cell phone via text message using Branch, which is another really cool problem that we solve. And if I haven't mentioned this, our SDKs are all open source. So as developers, you guys can contribute. Everything's on GitHub. They're also all free to use. We do have some premium features, but the majority of our platform is free. Always has been and always will be. Just on average, some results with deep links. Just imagine the difference between your friend sending you a link for an app and it taking you to the app store, and then you install the app, and then it says, please register, and then you see nothing, or you just see the regular onboarding screen. But what we found is that the majority of people who actually do that, who experience this flow, never install your application. It's best to offer some sort of customized experience, which is why deep links are so important, so that when someone clicks a link and enters your application, you have some context with which you can use to then render content. So you can say like, hey, welcome, Evan. We see you were referred by John. Sign up to join his team, something like that. Just when you smoothen out that process using deep links, users are going to be far more likely to engage with your application. So this is the problem of content sort of being cut off from the world. You have email marketing, social media ads, paid search ads, and content sharing, and it's all on the web, but how do you get it into your app? Oh, 1 second. Okay, just jump. Just making sure I didn't do the same deck I did in my last. So your company probably sends out emails. They probably buy ads on Facebook and Instagram. They probably pay for search results to stay relevant, and your application, if it has content, probably has content sharing. The problem is that really up until Branch came out, there was no way to leverage these things to get people into your application. We make it much easier, or I should say easier, we make it possible. And you probably don't realize how many deep links you see every day. I mean, they're in your search results on Google. Another cool thing is that if you use Branch and you enable indexing, the deep links that your users share out are going to be indexed by Google and will start to show up in search results, which will make you more relevant without you having to do anything. So I have to, it's actually, yeah, I'll update this to over 15,000 apps. But these are some of our partners if you want an idea of who's making use of Branch right now. And when the cameras aren't rolling, I can tell you which ones are the most annoying companies. So big announcement, something we're very excited about is that Twitter recently added us to the Fabric platform. You do not get different functionality out of integrating through Fabric. You can funnel your data into answers, which is another thing that Fabric offers. But basically by integrating through Fabric, you can do it with one click. And I have some slides to show you guys how easy it is. You can also integrate our SDK manually. I was telling these guys, I've already given away 8 hoodies today. If you integrate the SDK while you're at this event into your application, you get a company hoodie. And it looks slightly different than this one. This is our newer ones. But I actually like the older ones better. So you guys get something cooler than what I have. So we're excited to announce that we're on Fabric. What's funny is that although it doesn't really change our product, I've had so many engineers come up to me and say, oh, I integrated Branch. I didn't do it through Fabric, but since you guys are on Fabric, now my boss trusts you. So if you ever come out with an SDK, try to get it published on Fabric so people trust you. All right, and now I'll just walk you guys through integrating Branch via Fabric.
Question?
Yeah, sure.
Is it included with the Fabric Android Studio plugin?
It should be, yeah. Their plugin in Android Studio should have Branch on the list of items. At the end of this, as I get through the slides, I'll work with each one of you one-on-one.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah. So you just basically run the Fabric plugin like you were installing any other plugin. Pick the project that you'd like to inject Branch into. We'll be on the list. The last time I checked, we were on the very bottom of the list, but it moves. I don't know what dictates the order of said list. You found it? All right, boom, yay. Glad you reported that issue. I reviewed it and resolved it. So then you just install the latest build. So it's a code lab, but these are all things you click to do. And at this point, you'll create your Branch account, which I'll show you guys what that does.
Can you sign in there too, have one?
Yes. So if you click, I already have a Branch account, you just have to provide the Branch key from your account. Yeah, right here under the button. It'll ask for your Branch key, and that's just in your settings section of your dashboard. So when you click apply, it will show you the changes it's making, and it will basically be altering your manifest. I'll just show you guys the code, and then you build your project. And then you just look back and make sure it says installed to confirm, as you would with any other Fabric plugin. You can then get more out of Branch by implementing answers and Crashlytics. Most apps probably already have answers and Crashlytics enabled. Are you guys familiar with answers and Crashlytics? Yeah, get those stack traces that are almost helpful emailed to you. about what happened? We've been there. After integrating through the plugin in Fabric, you will then have to set up your branch dashboard. So are you guys familiar with URI schemes? It's just like what Android's used since forever to launch apps. So you basically just have to fill in your URI scheme. It can be anything that you want it to be. Fill in a URL. So we have the Google Play Search option. So if your app is on the Play Store, you can start to type in the name of it in your branch dashboard, and it will find it on the dashboard and then populate the content for you. If you are using if you're deep linking to maybe an APK file or something that's just on your device and not hosted anywhere, you can just set a custom URL. Maybe that's directly to the APK file or to just branch.io as an example. And then down here, you would fill in your application's package name.
So the APK should be hosted on like a publicly visible URL.
This can be anything you want. That was just an example of.
So it could be a file URL.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know much about iOS, but I know on Android that one of the best parts is the fact that we have APK files and that you can link to them. I mean, I don't even, what is on iOS, it's like an IPA file or something. But it's a little bit fragmented or cut off. You then can fill out your text message. I was telling you guys about the desktop use case where you text yourself the download link in your dashboard. You can customize what message comes with that's sent to your users. You can also set it on a per link basis. We also have Google App Indexing in the dashboard, which you can enable if you should so choose to. So I've shown you guys how deep links work. Now I'm going to show you the changes that are made to your application. So this is your intent filter. This gets added to the activity that you want to specifically deep link to. Now with typical deep linking, you'd have to create a different intent filter for every activity that you wanted to deep link to. We utilize something called deep link path, which makes deep linking to specific activities within your application quite simple. But for the sake of this code lab and simplicity, this is all you need to add to an activity to deep link to it. And this fabric test thing, that would be this value right here.
You mean add that to the manifest, right?
Correct. So yes, this gets added to the manifest in the activity that you're deep linking to. So the next thing you would add is the code to receive parameters. This code, although we tell you to put it into onStart, we will execute. Well, I don't want to dive into it. Put this code into the onStart section of your application. You guys already know that onCreate is best reserved for things that don't involve network calls. So this goes into onStart. It initializes a session, and then any link that was clicked by the user is returned as a JSON object right here, and you can then analyze the referring params to see all the key value pairs that existed in that link in the first place. On iOS, you'd get a dictionary. And then you have to override on new intent. So these are the changes you would make specifically to the activity that you're deep linking to. Does that make sense to you guys? Initializing a session, yeah, go ahead.
You want to wait questions till later or right now? Fine.
As we go.
Why do we have to override on new intent?
That's a part of, I know it's technical explanation. It's required for us to receive the intent that's sent to the application. So that's sort of the overview way of saying it. But yeah. So this is the code to generate a deep link. Are you guys aware of Open Graph tags from Facebook, their tagging system? So there are tags you can set on a link like $OG_description. That's the Open Graph tag for the description of a link. So we play nicely with all of Facebook's tagging standards for Open Graph information. So when you set your link's description and you set its image and you set its title, you guys know when you post a link on Facebook, it gets parsed out by Facebook and shows you an image, description, and title. That's how you configure all of that stuff. This is the metadata. This is the custom information that you want to pass through so that when your application is launched at a later point, you want to grab like property 1 is blue and property 2 is red. But this is just an example of whatever data you want to pack into there. Like if they're with the Zappos link I showed you guys earlier, you would probably pass in like shoe and then the ID of the shoe the person was viewing. Something like that, just as an example. What's really cool about generating links programmatically, you can do this from the dashboard as well, but programmatically, I don't know, it's just cooler. You then create a link properties object, and this dictates the redirection behavior of your link. So for every single branch link that you generate, you can customize how it will redirect based on the platform that it's clicked. So for every link, you can say, I want iOS users to go here, I want Android users to go here, and I want desktop users to go to this other place. You can also set things like the channel, so that way in your dashboard you can see where links are being shared out to and feature and amongst other things. But basically, every single branch link can have its own set of rules. If you do not specify redirection rules in your link properties object, we fall back to whatever you specified in your dashboard and just use that as a default. Now, this code is not something that integrating through Fabric like injects into your application. I'm just showing you guys how to generate links. And this is also all in our documentation, which is at dev.branch.io. And now the last part, the most simple part, is just calling generate short URL. So once you've created your branch universal object and your link properties object, all you have to do is call generate short URL. It's an asynchronous function. In a short amount of time, a matter of milliseconds, you get back the URL that was generated. And it'll be a shortened URL that uses your custom domain that has all of your data packed into it. So it won't be appended onto the end of the link. Now, as a fallback method or mechanism, we also have dynamic links. Dynamic links are long links that have all of the data you would normally stuff into a link appended as query parameters. So imagine it's just like link.com and then question mark key 1 equals value 1 and key 2 equals value 2. We support that form of links as well. Our SDK will make this generate short URL attempt 3 times. Now we know with cell phones, they oftentimes don't have signal. As developers, I'm sure you guys have had to deal with that at some point or another. I used to like run away from my mom's router to see how far I could get while my app still worked. There's fun things you can do. So it'll retry 3 times to generate a link. If it fails, it will then return a long link. So your user is still able to share out a link. However, it won't be a shortened link if they don't have internet access because they can't communicate with our backend. Another cool thing that we have is the share sheet. I'm assuming you guys are familiar with the concept of like clicking share and a big sheet comes up and it shows you all the apps you can share to on Android. Yeah. So we have a really cool share sheet built into our SDK that automatically tags channels with where they're being shared to. So it'll pull up all the apps on the user's phone, allow them to select an app, and if they select Twitter, the link will then have a channel set of Twitter. And then in your dashboard, it will start to populate with how many installs and downloads you're getting directly from Twitter. So we'll give you an understanding of where your app is growing and how it's growing. And this is just example code that you would call.
Quick question. So the
Yeah.
share sheet is your own custom widget, right?
Yes.
In a bottom sheet dialog.
In a what?
In a bottom sheet dialog or something?
Yeah. It just slides up from the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, because there's no way to know by the default sheet that which app the user has clicked.
Yeah. So we coded that. And also, it's not in this slide, but I coded a cool callback into our share sheet a few months ago that allows you to set the title and description and other variables of a link based on the place it's being shared to. So you can actually set a different title and description of your link if it's shared to Facebook versus if it's shared to Twitter. This is actually like a requirement, a request. Some partners wrote in and they said that they wanted their links when shared to Gmail to have different information than when their links were shared to Twitter. So I added that to the Android SDK. It's not in this slide, but it's another really awesome thing that you can take use of as a developer, make use of. As for indexing your branch links with Google, I showed you guys the branch universal object earlier. After you create your branch universal object, you just have to make one call, which is just list on Google search, and then you pass in context. So just your activities context. If you do not want your links to be indexed, do not call this function. Another cool thing you can do to understand how the content in your application is being, how often it's being viewed and accessed is registering views. A lot of applications, like a recipe application, they might want to know which one of their recipes is being viewed the most that day. We give you that kind of information as well with this one line of code, which is just register view. So just to show you guys an example of some dashboard data, this is obviously all made up data, but we give you a little install summary. And this is just a summary screen. So we show you by day how many installs you got. You can separate whether it's by branch or by all. You can then filter by the campaigns and features that you're running. We give you an install summary here. So we'll show you, you got this many installs from WhatsApp, you got this many installs from Facebook, you got this many installs from Instagram, and stuff like that. But we give you like as granular as possible breakdown of how your app is growing.
compare your graph with the graph those platforms provide natively? Are the numbers match exactly?
There's usually slight discrepancies, maybe like a few installs, but sometimes we get cases where people write in and it's usually there's some sort of bug going on that we track down. But yeah, there can be discrepancies. There can be discrepancies, especially since in order for branch to count an install, the application has to be launched. So the first launch we log as an install, and subsequent launches we log as opens. But the Play Store logs an install when you click install. We just don't have low-level access to the OS the way that the Play Store does. Otherwise, I'm sure the numbers would line up a little bit better. We also have an event section, so you can actually see live while people are using your app what's going on. You can see referred sessions showing up and the links that the person clicked. You can see custom events showing up. It's fun, especially as your app takes off, to just sit there and watch the page sort of reload and show you what's happening within your application. We give you influencer data, which is incredibly crucial if you want to understand who's growing your app. So if I share out the link to 50 people, I'll show up in this list, and then you can see which one of your users is referring other people, and you can see all of the people that person referred. You can, their IDs here are anonymous, but if you call our SDK function set identity, then any shares your users make will be attributed to them. I've been to a lot of events about growing apps and marketing and growth, and one of the most common subjects is just identifying your power users, because they already love your platform. So connect with them, find out what they love about it. They'll probably do things for you for free. They're already repping your product hard, So it's an important insight to have into your own application. Yep.
Quick question. So with the runtime permissions coming into the picture from Marshmallow, when we are talking about user ID, what kind of user ID are you talking about?
This is something you set programmatically.
Okay, so it's something that we generate on our end, so we don't need the get account from.
Correct. Well, yeah, for this, yeah. So you would use their ID from your own database.
Right.
Yeah. You typically don't want to use any readable information.
Right.
Yeah. This is link data. Within the branch dashboard, as links are created, you can see all the data that is within each link. Just a little screenshot. And again, if you have answers enabled, you'll have some data there as well, event data. I'm just showing you guys the branch side of things. I don't have answers open. Do you guys have any questions about integrating through Fabric? Would you like to see the manual method for integrating?
If you integrate manually, can you still connect with Fabric? Is what you're saying? Or do you have to go to the Fabric install?
If you're saying because you want to pipe your data into answers or Crashlytics?
If you wanted that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. You would just have to make a slight alteration. But if you want to use Fabric, then I would definitely integrate through Fabric. Yeah. Yeah, totally. So if you guys check out at any point dev.branch.io, we have all of our documentation there. And to integrate manually, I assume you guys are familiar with adding things to your Gradle file, your build.gradle file, yeah? So you'd simply add this library statement to your Gradle file. And it's just dev.branch.io if anyone wants to follow along. You then just add your branch key to your manifest file. And the branch key will be in your dashboard. If you don't have it, you have to add the internet permission.
So what is the one that's in the string resources, the io.branch.api? That's not the branch?
Which one?
The one in the string resources.
Yeah, that's your branch key.
So you were talking about adding it in the manifest, right? I was just
Oh yeah. So yeah, this you can store the key anywhere you want.
you just refer it as
Yeah.
Where would you find your key at?
Go to dashboard.branch. You found it? Yeah. Go to settings, and then it's at the top of the page. If you look, the screen behind me, right there.
Oh, it's still on the top one.
Yeah. We also have a Google Play install referrer. And if you already have one in your app, you can take another approach. This is the URI scheme. I showed you guys this already. Just this thing from your dashboard. You add this to the activity you're deep linking to. If you,
If we do have another refer, then we need to use that one as well.
there's directions right beneath it. Yeah. if you guys, do you guys extend from your application class? Do you guys use custom application classes in your apps? Yeah, yeah. So if you do that within the application class, you would call it branch.get auto instance this. What's cool about that is that this sets up auto session management. So all of the open and close events that happen in your application will happen automatically. You don't have to do anything else to your application other than add this one line of code. And then that's quite literally the gist of it. After that, you would initialize your branch session, retrieve your link params, and then act accordingly. And there's more stuff here like custom events and creating links other ways and different link behaviors. Do you guys have any questions about integrating branch into your app? I'm happy to sit with anyone who is doing it or wants to do it at some point and help you through it.
So when we're using it to set up the different ads campaign from Google, Facebook, or whatever, so we need to generate a different link for each platform.
Yeah. You could also concatenate. You could concatenate a query parameter to your link. So you could use one link for 4 platforms, but just on the end of your link, say like question mark, this platform equals whatever, something like that. Yeah. So you could build off the same link or create different links.
And branch shares your account with your Fabric account, right?
Yeah. Dashboard.branch.io is where you create your dashboard account. It's kind of funny doing a whole lab on integrating through Fabric when it takes a few clicks. It's very straightforward. All right, well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I think we'll wrap up there, and I'll hang out to see if anyone wants any help walking through anything. Thank you guys very much for attending. I hope you learned something. If not, I'm around for the rest of the day and tomorrow.